Hey squad, TITOBODS here, and today I have a special treat for you guys. I know that I have been doing some of the stuff with Pyrrhus lately, and you will be the one to actually testify that I have been doing a lot of things with Pyrrhus when it comes to build, testing him really in my account, because I believe there is like an individuality to all and every one of us when it comes to our account. Even though we have the same heroes, we have the same builds, when it comes to research number one, when it comes to ring levels, when it comes to where I'm going at, right? So in this video right here, I'm going to show you guys some of the results of the Regency that I've been doing. There has been like some tests that I have already done in the Regency that are now not available because stupid me didn't really think of that there is only like 30 fights that you can actually record in there. So some of the fights that I want to show you are out of the picture. So I still have those some few more fights that I want to show you guys with a new build that I've been using. So this one is what I call the sustain and damage build, or damage and sustain build. So in this build, you're going to see a little bit different from the conventional tank build. So also at the end of this video, I'm going to show you guys all the being the gem and the adornment and mounts. So stay tuned at the end of the video to know all that. And of course, I'm going to show you also some field fights wherein I'm using the exact same build. So let's head straight now to the fights. We have like a few fights here when it comes to the loot. So I have more than this, but I wasn't really able to think right or think straight during the test. And yeah, I did manage to pull off more than 30 fights. So I have like 2 Ramesses in here, but I only have left with 1 player. And I have like 10 fights with this guy, and then another 10 fights with the other guy. And now it's missing. But anyway, let's just work with what we have. So here you can see he is a 160 mil player, same as me almost in a way. But he has like, I think, a little bit higher research. So you can see here the levels. The stars also, he has like 1 more star than my Confucius. So I've been missing on that part. The only disadvantage he has is because he is using a French throwing axeman, although I'm using a Japanese samurai. So we didn't really have that Persian immortal that should be used anti your tactician marches. So you can see here my march and my build. So you're going to ask, why do you have TITOBODS the ultimate strategies, wherein you have told us last time that you should not have or not be using the ultimate strategies or any other active skill or any active rings. So now the question is, here on this march, do you have any other damage dealer? That's the first question. And the reason why I did this is to actually compensate on the loss of Charlemagne, because we don't have Charlemagne anymore. Your Charlemagne can provide damage, number 1, because of his skills, plus his signature skill will give you instant activation of 1 of the 4 activations that you can do with Pyrrhus. Let's face it, you guys, we cannot activate 4 every time. So the thing is that there is going to be times that you cannot really activate 4. So you just really have to add another gamble to it. Just add another extra damage output and maybe let the RNG works for you. Sometimes your damage output ultimate strategies here will not activate in a turn, and thus you still have the opportunity to activate 4 or 3 during that turn. But this is always going to be like you have 3 chances of activations, or 3 activation chances in a turn, and just your ultimate strategist, there will be times that you can still activate it in a way. So that is actually the gamble of it, but you will still be able to actually get 4 damage activations in or from a situation in the RNG perspective. So let's see here the difference when it comes to the rings. You can see he's using a Ring of Crow. A lot of Ramesses or even Pyrrhuses actually is using the tactics wherein you can use your Ring of Crow, and it is really effective. And with this build right here, it is even more effective because of Confucius, really. Now, the thing here is that, as I've said, he has like a way better Confucius because it's 5-star. And we all know Scipio and the Ramesses combination already. So I am facing here with the almost equivalent or equal level of rings and power and everything. He has a little bit more of an edge because of the debuff plus damage expectation from the critical. So the details here as follows. These are the damages, the activations of your Ramesses, 89. So you can see also the 9 activations of your ultimate strategies is 27k here because of the total amount of time that we actually used in the fight. So also these are the healings. I will show you a little bit deeper healing than that one though. Look at how much healing did we have here. You can see there the activations is 18 for his Confucius. My activations here are 19, just one extra activation, but there is a difference, significant difference when it comes to the healing, and I think it's because of my mount. And yeah, it's because of my mount, I think. And you can also see here the activations of the Peaceful Haven. There is significant activation difference here on his Confucius, just 34. Here we have 67. And as I've said before on the other videos that I have made, and maybe someone I think comments that how did it went from that, and it's caused by Ramesses. And what I was saying is, to be clear, is the Ramesses of the opposing sides. So if you have more activations of skill damage and your troops received it in the process, you will get more activations of your healing, meaning you will have more activations of your PH. So that's how it actually goes. Now look at the difference when it comes to healing on your perspective versus his perspective. I'm going to show you the next one wherein we win and we still have a better healing, because other players are going to say, oh, it's because you lost, you will have more healing. Okay, in the next one we won. I'm going to show you the difference now. So you can see here we changed just one skill, just one PH. We remove one PH with Sowing Discord. He's still the same guy. There's no difference really. Now the details, you can see there's a difference when it comes to damage. There's also a difference when it comes to healing and activation. We have less PH activation, less activated healing, as you can see here. And look at the stats. Now you can see I still have a better healing than the other player. You can see now here in this scenario, even at 4 stars still versus a 5 star, I still have better healing. It's because maybe of my mounts combination. That's why this is the healing. Now for the buffs, for those of you guys who are curious, these are the buffs. I do have like a little bit of advantage, especially on the strategy attack. But it's because it's Ramesses, brother. And you will not see the full potential of the strategy, or you will not really appreciate the difference in strategy attack here. But once you realize how strong that Ring of Crow is, so you can see here there is a strategy bonus. Imagine how much strategy he will gain from me and how much strategy I will lose during that fight. So the buff that you have on the strategy attack here, which will of course going to be for the attributes, he will have way better strategy than me at the end or during the fight. In certain instances, this strategy attack could flip. I would rather, or maybe can get like 700 and let's say 20, and he will get like 700 or something like that around that strategy attack. So there's going to be a difference when it comes to that. So that's actually a high increase or decrease when it comes to that one. So do not rely on the strategy attack. If your opponent has a, of course, strategy bonus ring with also a debuff on it when it comes to strategy, so there is going to be fluctuations when it comes to the strategy attack. Although, as I've said, we are almost the same when it comes to all, and the only difference is I have a little bit higher strategy attack and strategy defense. But still, how did I lose? So most players is going to answer you because of CPO, the critical. But here we won. It's because of having Sowing Discord. So it's like a Ring of Crow in a way. But yeah, we're just going to get some strategy. But in a way, this is the only time I won with this fight. As I've said, it's like 10 fights. So we also have here next one. I just want to show you guys what we have there. And this actually is, I think, a pretty good fight. So it's up against a Miamoto. The power level is almost the same as me, but he has like 14 mil, 15 mil power advantage. I'm using the same build that I am using here. And we still have 46k remaining troops. That is a lot of troops remaining still, okay? Versus a full-blooded Miamoto March and a even more powerful against us. So he has also the samurai. So we have like the same mercenary. The rings you can see are almost the same, but he has a little bit more extra when it comes to the bonus of the lofty mountain. So instead, I think of 5% or 6%, it will be like 8 or 9, I think. I kind of forgot the denominations of the ring bonuses, but that's about it. So you can see also here the amount of activations we have, 23, higher than what we have produced against the Lubu that we are up against earlier. Then the activations also, it's because of the time, we have more time here. So we also have PH at only 23. So the activations of your Miamoto here is 21, plus the activations of your other hero here, Lagertha, is at 38. And the damage output plus healing, look at the healing, 31k with this fight, 31k plus 11.7k here healing. So you can see the difference. If we are up against spammers and high damage dealers like Lubu, your healing would be a little better. So here still, it's a good healing. You can see the difference of the healing. And it's really good, right? So even though I'm not using the Ring of Falcon, I still get a good healing. And I'm going to reveal why later on. Okay, health-wise, okay, you can see he still has like 20% higher health than me. Okay, although he doesn't have really that much strategy defense, pretty low. But I don't really have that much might defense also. It's pretty normal. So might attack he has higher. Like versus my strategy attack though. Might attack versus strategy attack, you can see already the difference in there. So even the stats here might a little bit higher than mine. Of course, there's also like his critical. So yeah, this was a pretty exciting fight, really, to be honest. If you're going to compare the two fights, so standard build of Miyamoto versus our standard build, and he has a little bit higher when it comes to the buffs. And you know the power already. So I think we are on the same boat in a way, but we still managed to win. So that is the luck of the draw for the RNG. He even has higher troop than me. So, you know, I don't know what to say about that one. I will let you guys decide when it comes to this fight. Now, let's move on. So since I promised I'm going to show you my build with everything on it, let me give you every details that we have. So this is my build, and this is actually the mercenary that I am using throughout the fights, because number one, I have like both defense against strategy and against might here, because these are all damage taken by the troop are reduced by 2%. Although the difference is if you have your Persian immortal rather than samurai, you will have 1.5% extra, because this is 3.5%, although it will not always be there. That's the thing about that one. Now with the French showing Axeman, you will be good against might heroes, because this is 4%, plus you have extra stats. So with the samurai, I can do both, or I can deal with both troops, the tactician and the pikeman, the tactician and the might heroes. So I think this is a better one for me. Plus you have like an extra activations of the active skills, so it includes also your customizable skills, because it says here all of your troops active skills by 1%. So I have active skill in here. Look at that, the activation for your Confucius, an extra 1%, though it's not very significant, but I have another active skill here, another active skill here. It may not be that significant, but still it is an extra. You know, an extra is always a good thing. So let's head now to the troops. So these are the builds that I have. You already know, I think, from the previous video. So the rings, I think you already know my gems now. So these are the gems that I'm using. These are the gems that I'm using. And these are for the Confucius. Okay, now that's one thing why my healing is a little bit higher. Another thing that gives me the reason to actually make this march a little bit higher on your healing is the mounts. And yeah, I have that much on the mounts. These are my mounts for my hero Pyrrhus here. So this is what I'm using. So here is my Zhuge Liang. So you can see now why the healings are great for Confucius. You have here healing armor. Increase the effect or healing effect of the troop received. So you can see there. So it is really not significant if you're going to think about it, but it will increase like 6%, because you have 3 heroes. You have 2% here per hero, so it's 6% extra healing effectiveness. And I have resistance over here. So just level 2 resistance over there. So here you can see we have Lifesaver, plus you have renewal. So that is 8% plus the 6%. That is a total of maybe 14%. So that's how I think of it. You know, healing effectiveness for the whole troop is 2% there. So it's 6% plus 8% here. So it's like 14 point something percent. So that's actually a good one for me. Although here I don't have any strategy on the stats. Now, I also have here resistance, so I have like 2 resistance for more damage reduction, and it actually helped my account. So that's why this build is actually a sustain plus damage. It's because of Pyrrhus though, and I'm using the Skyward Knight, so my rings are both damage and sustain also. So also here I'm using a Sowing Discord. This is actually like the another RNG flip of the card. It actually also helps in a matter of debuff. And it really helps, especially when it activates more than you have anticipated. So that is actually my current build, and I will continue to use this build until I have experienced more or a better build in the future. But before I go, I want you guys to I also want to leave you guys with a thought when it comes to the rally, because a lot of players are going to ask about the rallies. I haven't really had good rallies with this March yet. The one thing I can tell you guys is about Charlemagne. So with Charlemagne, I had a better rally results versus when I have Pyrrhus, Zhuge Liang, and Confucius in the rally before I used the Charlemagne build. So with the Charlemagne build, I was able to deal more damage, and in the process I got more or better results because of the lack of damage of my first build with Pyrrhus, Zhuge Liang, and Confucius. Without this current build that I have right now, I didn't really had that much potential when it comes to damage, but the sustain was there, but the damage output wasn't there. So in the end, my Charlemagne with my Pyrrhus and Confucius did a better job because I had more kills in the rally with that build, and more kills in the rally with that build actually helped the rally more than having sustain for yourself in the rally, to be honest. So for me, the one with Charlemagne still wins on that one. But here, if I'm using this March, I have to change the star link, number one. And also, another thing that you should always remember before you join the rally, make sure you change the talents. I know some players are going to be lazy about it, but it does help. The rally, attack, and bonuses on your talents are really important if you're going to ask me. So make sure you change that specific talents if you really want to help your alliance win. Okay, that is for me very important. So there you go, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you want more of these kinds of videos wherein we have breakdowns of the fights plus the reveal at the end of the build, just hit me up in the comments, okay? So if you are curious about more builds about heroes, click the video here on your screen right now. And as always, you guys, have a great day to everyone. This is your TITOBODS, and I will see you in the next one.